Among the crowd of typical soccer moms handling snacks and paperwork, Captain Margie Simmons kept silent about her combat record 3 hostile aircraft downed over enemy territory. While others debated ride-sharing and fundraising, she hid her past. But when her child's aviation trip required a real pilot, her years of concealment were about to end. The morning buzzed with coffee aromas, and 33rd graders preparing for their field trip. In the Oakwood Elementary lot, Margie stood with clipboard and lunch bag, blending in at 38 with plain clothes and a ponytail. No one noticed her calloused hands, or that they belonged to someone who once flew F-16s. Mrs. Simmons. Mrs. Patterson, the frazzled trip organizer, rushed over. The museum's pilot for the simulator is sick. They're asking if any parents have aviation experience. Margie asked calmly. What happens if no one does? They'll cancel the interactive part. The kids will be disappointed. Katie, Margie's daughter, bounced over, eyes shining. Mom, they need someone who knows airplanes. Do you think they'll find one? Margie gave her usual vague reassurance, hiding the truth as she had for 12 years. The children boarded buses, excitement already dimming. Watching Katie's hopeful face fall, Margie wondered if safety was still worth secrecy. At the Cedar Falls Aviation Museum, the curator Tom Bradley announced the pilot's absence, reducing the visit to a basic tour. Disappointment swept through the kids. As the group shuffled through exhibits, Margie noted factual errors in the guide's explanations, but kept silent. In the simulator room, the Crown Jewel, full F-16 cockpit, sat dark. Bradley explained that without a trained pilot, it was just for show. Parents sighed. Kids lost interest. Katie suddenly blurted, "My mom knows about flying." All eyes turned to Margie. Embarrassed, she brushed it off, but Katie persisted, faith unshaken. "You always know everything important." The moment passed, but Margie saw her daughter's hope break, and it pierced deeper than any enemy fire had in the gift shop. Margie lingered at aviation books she'd once helped write anonymously. Bradley struck up a conversation, hinting he recognized her military precision. Outside, the children boarded the bus. Dreams of flying replaced by coloring books and small souvenirs, Bradley studied her. The way you move, the questions you ask are not just another parent. Margie froze. Katie waited in the doorway, disappointment etched in her face. Something inside her shifted. "If I could prove I'm qualified, would you restart the simulator?" she asked. Bradley's voice dropped. "Are you saying you have military flight experience?" Margie glanced at Katie. For 12 years, she had hidden the truth, but her daughter's quiet words echoed. "It's okay, Mom. I know you'd help if you could." "Yes," Margie said. "I'm saying exactly that." The atmosphere changed instantly. Bradley ordered the bus held back. Parents and children gathered. Margie approached the simulator, her steps now sharp and deliberate. The disguise of ordinary suburban mom dissolving. F-16 Block 50. She began naming systems with flawless recall. Sliding into the seat, her hands moved with muscle memory calm, precise, unshakable. HOTA's controls, radar, threat panels, standard configuration. Mrs. Simmons, Bradley whispered, astonished. "What's your background?" She didn't hesitate. Captain Margaret Ghost Simmons, U.S. Air Force, F-16 pilot. 2,000 hours, 3 combat deployments. Distinguished Flying Cross. Retired 12 years ago to raise my daughter. The simulator powered on, lights and displays glowing to life. Katie pressed against the barrier, stunned. "Mom, you were in the Air Force?" "Yes, sweetheart. Before you were born, this was my job." The crowd swelled as word spread. Margie worked the controls effortlessly, narrating for the kids. "The F-16 is unstable by design. The computer makes constant corrections so it can fly. Watch closely." The virtual jet roared into the sky. Margie smiled, a real smile her daughter had never seen. Some things you never forget. Katie's eyes lit with pride. Her classmates leaned forward, spellbound. And Margie Simmons, after 12 years of hiding, stepped back into the light. The ride back to Oakwood Elementary was nothing like the morning. Instead of restless kids, the bus buzzed with talk of G-forces, afterburners, and dogfights. Margie sat in the back with Katie, answering rapid-fire questions. Did you ever shoot down enemy planes? How fast did you fly? Why didn't you tell us you were a pilot? Margie explained gently. That was one chapter of my life. When Katie was born, being her mom became more important than flying. Katie squeezed her hand. But you were amazing. It looked easy. It wasn't easy, honey. Years of training taught me to be brave when others depended on me. At the museum, Bradley had slipped her his card, inviting her back as a guest instructor. She'd laughed, but his words stuck. She'd spent 12 years teaching Katie everyday lessons. But the simulator reminded her she could also teach something far bigger. Mom, Katie asked quietly, will you go back to being a pilot? Margie hesitated. The cockpit had felt like home, a part of her she thought she'd buried. I don't know. It's a big decision for both of us. But you loved it. I saw it in your smile. Yes, I did. Very much? Then why did you stop? Margie met her daughter's eyes. Because I loved you more. The bus pulled into school. Pickup chaos erupted. This time whispers spread. Katie Simmons. Mom wasn't just another parent, she was a decorated fighter pilot. Jennifer Blake shook her head. Margie, you never said a word at all those PTA meetings. It didn't seem relevant, Margie replied. Though the words rang hollow, David Murphy added, My son thinks you're the coolest person alive. Lisa Hartwell scrolled through photos. You looked different in that cockpit. Like you belonged there. Mrs. Patterson approached carefully. What you did today was extraordinary. Those kids will remember it forever. As the lot cleared, Margie and Katie stood beside their minivan, suddenly too ordinary for what had just happened. Mom, I'm proud of you, Katie said. For what? For being brave? Not just flying jets, telling the truth today. I know you were scared. Margie knelt down, startled. How did you know? Because you've been scared a long time. But today you chose to be brave. Margie realized her silence had been teaching Katie the wrong lesson, that being remarkable was dangerous. But today proved another truth. Sometimes the people who need you to be brave are worth the risk of being seen. Driving home, she saw her neighborhood through different ice-imagining flight paths and skies above. For 12 years, she'd been ghost in a new way, invisible in plain sight. Maybe it was time to stop hiding. Maybe it was time to show Katie that being extraordinary wasn't shameful, it was a gift to share. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to miss them. Click and check them out. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload.